In this video, we are diving into ancient Ukrainian tradition, writing писанкас. After Ukraine gained independence, people began bringing back the tradition of писанка making. Lately, I've seen more and more Ukrainians taking workshops to try it out. And I love that. Long before писанкас became part of Easter, Ukrainian pagans celebrated Velykdyn, the day when light finally beats darkness and spring takes over winter. Eggs symbolized rebirth, and the designs were like wishes for the people you care about. Marco and I decided to make 3 писанкас each, using plant-based dyes I had prepared in advance. It took me the whole day, so fingers crossed it actually works. We started by sketching our designs with pencil. You don't have to do this. If you're confident drawing straight lines and patterns freehand, go for it. But since it was our first time, sketching really helped us stay on track. For smoother, more even lines, it's best to keep the pencil steady and rotate the egg instead. Then came the most stressful part, using the wax pen. The goal is to apply melted beeswax along your design and somehow make the lines look clean and accurate. Sounds simple, until it's not. After just a few minutes, I learned the hard way. Don't hold the pen in a flame too long. If it overheats, the wax starts dripping instead of making nice, neat lines. I also sealed the holes at the top and bottom of each egg with wax, just to stop the dye from leaking inside. The first wax layer locks in the shell's natural color, so wherever you apply wax now will stay that light color. Before adding the first dye, I dipped the egg in vinegar. It helps cleanse the surface and makes the dye absorb more evenly. One thing to keep in mind, with natural dyes it's best to go from the lightest colors to the darkest. Each layer is transparent, so it builds on top of the previous one and affects the final color. After dyeing the egg yellow-green, I added more wax to cover the areas I wanted to keep that color. Then moved on to the next dye and repeated the process. One is done. 5 more to go. We followed that process for all the eggs. With every new писанка, I could feel my lines getting better, though wax blobs still happened here and there. We experimented with a bunch of plant dyes, madder root, spinach, blueberries, oak bark, marigold flowers, and celandine. Not all of them worked, but we still managed to get a pretty solid range of colors. And now one last look at the eggs before we remove the wax, just in case something goes wrong. We started by reopening the holes at the top and bottom. If you don't let the air inside escape, it can expand from the heat and crack the shell. To do that, you just hold the egg near a candle flame to melt the wax. Once it softens, you can wipe it off with a paper towel. This писанка is for my sister. I use the Ruja symbol, it stands for beauty and harmony. My sister is really good at taking care of how she looks, and it's something that matters to her, so I wanted to wish her to feel in harmony with her appearance.
For my mom, I picked the fish. It's the symbol of strong health. She's always taking care of everyone else, but sometimes forget about her own health. So, this is my way of reminding her to take care of herself too.
My mom's писанка has two symbols. I choose the windmill to wish her constant energy, and the rake because she loves gardening, it stands for rain and good harvests.
For my dad, I drew oak leaves. They symbolize strength, protection, and longevity. He's the kind of a person who's quietly strong and always has our back. It felt like the perfect symbol for him.
My last писанка is for my niece. I picked the ram as her symbol. It stands for creative energy and protection from evil. She is full of ideas and always exploring something new, so this felt like the perfect wish for her.
For my grandmother, I used the Ruja symbol too, same as for Sole's sister. It stands for beauty and harmony. My grandma always makes sure she looks her best before leaving the house, so I thought it was a fitting wish for her. But the писанка didn't survive. All the colors came off when we removed the wax. And since we'd already poured out the dye solution, Sole had to cook up new batches. And now I'll redo it using one of our practice eggs.
While Marco is finishing up his last писанка, I thought I'd share a bit about my experience using natural dyes. Working with them is fun, but also totally unpredictable. The colors can come out uneven, stain weirdly, or not stick at all. We mostly use just three plants. Blueberries for a blue-purple, marigolds which gave us a yellowish-green, and madder root for a warm orange. Other dyes needed way more soaking time and we just didn't feel like waiting. So we got the rest of the colors by mixing. Like if you dip a marigold-dyed egg into madder, the yellow turns more golden orange. If you dip it into blueberry instead, you get a rich green. And if you go from madder to blueberry, it makes a brown. Mixing all the things felt a bit like organic chemistry class, in a good way. Making these pusinkas took time, focus, and a little bit of patience, but it was totally worth it. We are definitely doing it next year. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.